Our modern life comes with a lot of problems. So, do you also feel guilty when not working? Even resting makes you anxious. You are not lazy. You are human. So, in this video, I will explain why you are tying your self worth to how productive you are and what has gone wrong in your brain that you feel guilty when you are not working, even when you are resting. I will explain the mechanisms briefly and then I will explain the science based strategies to stop this negative feeling because it affects your quality of life and your mental health. Let's start with the brain. First, we try to understand how our brain's motivation system, which is also called reward system, works. So when you accomplish a task or you are working or you are praised, wow, that guy works really hard. Your brain's reward system kicks in. So this reward system connects the different areas of your brain through neurons and it was developed so we find pleasure in certain activities like for example eating food, reproducing. They can be repeated again and again and so this is how life continues on. So what happens that when you are working or you finish a task and you are praised, the neurons of the ventral tegmental area release dopamine in nucleus accumbens. The dopamine is a feel good chemical, and when it is released in the nucleus accumbens, it causes pleasure. You feel good. So the neurons from the ventral tegmental area are also connected to the prefrontal cortex. So when you feel pleasure, your prefrontal cortex says, hey, this is good, let's repeat it again. Now the memories related to this pleasure, which occurred because of the release of dopamine in the nucleus accumbens, will be stored in hippocampus. And if any emotions, they will be stored in the amygdala. And that is why working feels rewarding. But when you rest, or when you are not doing anything, so since there is no task, there will be no praise, there will be no sense of accomplishment, so there will be no dopamine, and therefore your brain sees not working or resting not good enough, and you feel bad for not working. This is one mechanism. Now let's discuss another mechanism. In most of the developed world, but also if you are raised in a culture where rest was considered the laziness, your brain will internalize that belief. And that belief lives in the prefrontal cortex, which handles social rules and judgments. So even healthy rest can feel wrong or shameful. And this is called cognitive bias. So since your brain has internalized this belief because of the people's judgments, that rest is equal to laziness. So whenever you will take rest, this mental shortcut will kick in and it will feel like you are doing something wrong, even though it's not correct. Now, since you feel guilty for doing nothing or resting, two more things will happen. The guilt which arises because of the cognitive bias will activate the brain's stress system, and this raises your cortisol levels. So in short, because of this guilt, you also feel stressed. Another thing which will happen when you are resting, the brain's default mode network, which is a network of neurons, gets active. This network is responsible for the daydreaming and self-reflection. So since you are feeling guilty because of the cognitive bias, you will also engage in the overthinking. It will feel like you are not doing something good, you are doing something bad. And so you end up stuck between the feeling guilty and overthinking. Now, after understanding the mechanisms behind why you feel guilty when you are not working or you are resting, there is a good news. Your brain can change. So the first thing I would recommend is the rewiring exercise. So in this simple exercise, you have 5 steps. In the first step, whenever you are feeling guilty, stop there and name it. Awareness is always the first step. In the second step, you will replace the guilt-based thought with a new thought by saying to yourself, this is how I re-energize myself by not doing anything. Or this is how my brain recovers. This is how my memories are restored. In the third step, you use the evidence to further strengthen that new thought in your prefrontal cortex. So you can provide any neuroscience evidence that this is how your brain recovers, and which is very helpful in creativity and re-energizing your brain with the new ideas. In the fourth step, you will practice the intentional rest. So for 3 minutes, do nothing, just be present in the moment while trying to not feeling guilty about not doing anything. And in the fifth step, you just write or remember any positive thing when you are not doing anything or when you are resting. It could be anything. Rest helps your brain to recover and grow. It's not a waste. It's a part of the process. It also improves the emotional balance. The second thing you can do, so you can replace the passive rest, which induces the guilt, with the active rest. Active rest means that doing things which you like. For example, walking in the nature, doing some sports, or fishing, painting, your hobbies, cooking. It could be anything. This will help your brain perceive rest as intentional and valuable. The third, you can do some mindfulness and self-compassion training. Just 5 minutes a day of mindful breathing reduces activity in the default mode network, quits overthinking, and lowers cortisol. You can add self-compassion by saying, "It's okay to rest. I'm still worthy even when I'm not productive." This will boost the oxytocin, a hormone that calms the brain's fear response. The fourth thing I would recommend, schedule rest intentionally. Treat rest or doing nothing like a meeting. Plan it, own it. So when your prefrontal cortex will see it as a plan, it will not trigger the guilt. Fifth, refocus on other values. Life is not all about work. There are also so many important things in your life. And remember, life was not always as it is in the current world. And your worth does not depend on the other people's judgments or how productive you are. So this feeling of guilt when you are not doing anything is totally wrong. If this helped a little, please like and subscribe for more and write your thoughts in the comments. Thank you. See you soon.